None of you would even know anything about this tragedy that you're going through right now. But Iran was broke. Anybody that bought oil from Iran, they couldn't do any business with us. You're not going to do business with America. China passed, everybody passed, they were broke. They didn't have money for Hamas, they didn't have money for Hezbollah. And your sons would be alive, and they certainly wouldn't be incarcerated like they are. It's such a shame, but we're getting a lot of people out in a short period of time. So I'm going to go right over to here, and I'm going to sign in front of you. Is that okay? Good.
President Trump is signing is the rescission of 78 Biden-era executive actions, executive orders, presidential memoranda, and others.
Bingo! I know where Carrie is, Stevie. Come on, please, singers. Let's go!
The second item, President Trump, is a regulatory freeze, as you announced in your speech, preventing bureaucrats from issuing any more regulations until we have full control of this, the government with this administration.
Charlie Terry. Charlie Terry. Carrie. 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 Oh, Carrie. Ah, there we go. I know where Carrie is.
Accepting the military and a number of other excluded categories, again, until full control of the government is achieved and we understand the objectives of government going forward.
Could you imagine Biden doing this? I don't think so.
Sir, the next item, as you announced in your speech, is a requirement that federal workers return to full-time in-person work immediately. Thank you, sir. Next, we have a directive to every department and agency in the federal government to address the cost of living crisis that has cost Americans so dearly. Thank you, sir. The next item here is the withdrawal from the Paris Climate Treaty.
Bingo!
Yes, sir. We're going to save over $1 trillion by withdrawing from that treaty. And the next item, sir, is a letter that will be transmitted to the United Nations explaining that we are withdrawing from the Paris Climate Treaty. Thank you, sir. This next item is a directive to the federal government ordering the restoration of freedom of speech and preventing government censorship of free speech going forward. And lastly, sir, before we go back to the Oval Office to sign a large number of other items, is a directive to the federal government ending the weaponization of government against the political adversaries of the previous administration, as we've seen. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Pretty cool job.
So there you see the President of the United States just signed 9 documents on a variety of issues, all of which he promised during the course of the campaign he would do, and he's implementing that these first few hours after the inauguration. John King's our chief national correspondent. He's with us right now. John, he started off with a declaration, the signing of a document ending various Biden-era actions that were put in place over the last 4 years. That's a pretty significant development even by itself.
Yes, we need to get the list of the 78 Biden executive actions, and some of them were executive orders, some of them were other Biden memorandums. We need to get the list to see exactly what those policies are. Then a regulatory freeze, a hiring freeze, the return to work will be controversial. But I think, Wolf, what's also significant is what he didn't sign there, because we need to see the details of the immigration executive orders he's going to sign to see just how sweeping the big changes in policy are and how quickly they would take effect, what he tries to do for executive action and what he might have to wait to try to get more congressional approval or some other way to do it. We don't know that until we see the details. He also said the January 6th pardons, he calls them hostages. They are defendants and they are in prison after being convicted in courts. He says that will come tonight, but it did not come here. He's off to the Oval Office now. What I was most struck by is this is the day, Wolf, we've been through so many of these together. This is the day when you turn the page to the new administration. It's normally a day where maybe you have a few last critiques of the last administration when there's a change of power. We'll get that. When we see the January 6th pardons, we will be there.